welcome to another edition of the Daily Deuce. I'm Gary Graves from just outside Louisville, Kentucky, and back in Maryland, my good friend, esteemed colleague, expert coach, and all-around good dude, John Webster. How you doing?
Hey, Gary, I'm doing great, man, but we have a guest here tonight who's an expert coach. You know, that ain't me, man. That is not me at all. Hey, John Pitt, how are you, man?
I'm doing good, man. Can't wait to get to it. Got crazy NBA playoffs going on and a special guest. Can't wait, man. Let's go.
Hey, like I said, we have the honor to have a special guest tonight, a returning guest. And he's going to do a review and analysis of the 4 NBA playoff games still going on. It's the one, the only, Coach Taft Hickman. Coach Hickman, how you doing?
I'm doing just great. Thank you guys for having me on. Really appreciate it. You know, we got this bright sunshine here in the state of Maryland today. Feels good.
Hey, man, I'm happy with the sunshine. I don't need to see any more 60-degree days and rain and wind. I don't need to see any more of that.
Yeah. Exactly.
You know what? You're going to analyze. I'm going to give you the one I want to hear about all 4 of them, but there's one I want to start off with right off the bat. There's a team out in Phoenix called the Suns, and they are going up against the Denver Nuggets. I need you to tell us, how is Phoenix going to pull this out tonight with DeAndre Ayton hurt, with Chris Paul out? How are they going to do it? What's going to happen, Coach?
Well, you know the Denver Nuggets, Mike Malone, that's Brendan Malone's son, he used to be on Monty's bench.
Really?
So I hope Monty didn't tell him everything. And, you know, with Aiden out, which I found out, you know, about midday that Aiden was out. And I had already text Monty earlier this morning, I guess about 9 o'clock Phoenix time, about 12 o'clock our time, and just wished him good luck and God bless and coach him up. And when I think he's in a bind or he's up against a wall, I just tell him, you know, to coach him up. And that's what I really think that he texted me back. He just said, yes, sir. And he texted me back. That was his text back. And I think with Paul out and Aiden both out, you know, he's got his back against the wall. But I think they got 2 capable backups in Landale and Bimbior. I think those 2 guys can probably give you what Aiden gives you because of the Joker has been having his way. And I actually texted Monty before the season started, and I said, look, whatever you do, don't let the Joker beat you. I said, I think the only one can beat you is the Joker. I said, you stop the Joker, I think you're capable of beating the other guys. The other guys, I don't think they can beat you. So that's where they are. You know, having Chris out and watching the other games and watching Cameron Payne come in, you know, off the sore back for the whole season and really pushing that ball to the court and getting the whole team running. I thought they played great the 2 games with Phoenix. I thought they went to I thought they should have won that second game in Denver, but they didn't shoot the ball well. And that was what I texted Monty and I said, you know, you make some shots, you'd have won the game. And then they shot better and they got to Phoenix. With Aiden out, he just hasn't been giving the Suns what they need around that basket. And, you know, you got 5 fouls. NBA, you got 6 fouls. And I think you should use them all on the Joker. You know, as I watched the game and kind of analyzed it a few times, even Landale, they'll leave the Joker to go help out. And I'm sitting at home on my screen. I'm screaming at my phone, don't leave the Joker. Just let the other guys handle other guys. Stay with the Joker. And all of a sudden, they'll throw the ball back to Nikola, and he drops the 3-pointer down. You know, and we all know he's 7 foot and he's 290 pounds. He's a load. But I feel as though that with Aiden out and with Lindell coming in, I think that you'll get probably just as much as you were getting or even more. Because for some reason, I have no idea. I haven't figured it out yet. And I had told Monty, I think 3 years ago when I saw him in the bubble, I thought Aiden was a young Bill Russell. I said, you know, you got a young Bill Russell. He was running the floor. He was running the floor hard, playing hard. And I just haven't really been impressed with the way he's been running the floor, and I wouldn't be surprised if he goes on the trading blocks next year. I don't know, trade for him. He's 7 foot and really not playing like a 7 foot. I think he was a first round draft pick, I think.
He was
but
the
he's
number
really
one
not
pick.
putting the he was the number 1 pick, and he's really not putting out what number 1 pick does. He wants to be where those guys are, but you know and I know you gotta do it on the court. And when I mentioned to Monty about going to Aiden, I said, look, go to Aiden to make the Joker play, because the Joker plays foul line to foul line. I mean, I sit there and analyze him a few games. I said, he's playing foul line to foul line. It means he doesn't want to run. So if whoever's playing tonight, well, Lindell, the other backup center, if they get up and down the court, and Devin's, 100%, he needs Booker. Aiden being out and Paul being out, I don't think it's going to really kill the team. But if Booker was out, then I would say, no, they don't have a chance. But with Booker being there and the way he's played the last couple of games and the way he's scoring, I think he'll be fine. I think KD needs to get off to a good start. The 2 games they won, he was more aggressive offensively, and he got off to a good start. The 2 games they lost, he didn't really start very well. I haven't been very happy with their shot selection because of I think they need to go to the basket a little bit more. I did mention that in one of my texts to Monty. I said, look, they need to get to the basket. And they got to the basket those 2 games at home, and they won the game. So that's what I'm thinking. With Aiden out, I think they're okay. I think the 2 guys that's going to play the Joker, going to probably concentrate on the Joker quite a bit. And plus, it's going to be crazy in Phoenix tonight with all the screaming and the yelling. And, it's like your back's against the wall, and it's like it's a game 6, but it's a game 7. Your back's you want to get back to Denver. And I didn't really want to tell him that, but I'm sure he knows that. The whole key is to get back to Denver, and now you make it a 1-game series.
Coach, you basically answered my second question I was going to ask you, but my first one had to do really with Ayton. And on a previous show, John and I, we were saying basically if Phoenix is going to go anywhere in this series, that Ayton has to play on both ends of the floor. He has to be complete. He has to really, really step up his game. And he shows flashes of it, but then he just gets to a point where he kind of fades and wilts. And, what do you think that is when you see a guy like that with that kind of size who doesn't assert it?
I've tried to figure it out. I've seen him asserted for more than 1 game. The 1 game where he got the 3 offensive rebounds in a row, I said, okay, he's ready to play. And he played pretty good that game. Between he and Lindell, they outplayed the Joker. If you put their 2 stats together, they're not playing scoring-wise because he dropped 52. But they kept him off the boards. He didn't get the offensive boards he normally gets, and he didn't get the triple-double. But each time he's got the triple-double, that's been their downfall. And I was kind of questioning myself. I was questioning his heart, because I don't think that if I'm 7'1", and I'm sure he's about 250 pounds, you're not gonna get a triple-double on me every night I play against you. I gotta bring something to the table. And for Phoenix to go, Aiden's got to bring it to the table. And then the day when I read that he had gotten hurt, the guard, a 6'4" guard, put his knee in his ribs. I'm trying to say, well, were you jumping to block a shot, or what were you? How did a 6-foot guard put his knee in your ribs? And he still played something like 30-some minutes in that game. So I'm kind of questioning that. It comes up today, but he still played in the game, and that it doesn't sound right to me.
Yeah, I think my biggest criticism of Phoenix has been that they have talent, but they don't have that alpha dog. If let's just say if Booker gets out there and scores 40 points, they're in a pretty good position. If Durant scores 30 plus points, they're usually in a good position. If they both score, obviously they're in a great position, but they still don't have what I call that take charge guy, that go-to guy, the glue guy, really. And I think that's the difference with Denver. And for what it's worth, Denver has made believers of me and John, because neither one of us believed that they would get that far. And I think that's the thing that Phoenix, they need to find somebody that can get in somebody's face, that can just kind of take charge, as opposed to hope that the ball, kind of comes to them.
Well, the alpha dog is on Denver's team. It's not Jamal Murray. It's not the Joker. It's that power forward, the one that's guarding Durant. And that's the guy. Is that Murray? No, is that Murray?
That's I think that's Gordon. That's Gordon. Either
Gordon.
Aaron Gordon. Yeah.
That was who I wanted when Orlando broke their team up. 2 years ago, 2 or 3 years ago. I was hoping Phoenix would have picked him up. I was just, please pick him up. That was the guy. He's not a James Worthy, but he's a power forward. He's a power forward, and he'll get you what you need.
You know what? You're right. He'll get you what you need. But let's slide over. Let's slide over to the other game and see. Let's talk about what they need. The Celtics are down 3-2. They're going to Philly tonight. Are they going to have what they need to get this series back to Boston, Coach?
I think that series is closed. Embiid's back, and Harden is playing better, and Tobias is playing better. And I watched when the Celtics played a couple of games, and they struggled. And I don't think Tatum and Brown can carry him through. If Hartford is scoring from outside, I think they got a shot. But if they don't have to score from outside, Philly looks really tough, because Maxi's playing well right now, and Harden, to me, he's ready to go. To me, I've started looking in his eye the other night when he was playing. He wasn't clowning around. He wasn't being macho or anything, but he had that serious look on his face that, hey, this is my chance to get where I need to get to.
I saw many of your teams, as I said before, many of your games, and you're absolutely one of the best coaches. I've told you that. I need you to tell me something. I remember watching you all play, and your games, if I'm not mistaken, you started getting your inside game going first, and then you worked it outside, if I remember right. And when I watch Boston, they're shooting threes and another three and another three, and they're not getting the inside presence. They're getting it later on. Sunday, Tatum was ice cold the first half. He finally started driving the ball to the hole in the second half, but he should have been driving. When you don't have your shot going, I always was told you go to the basket to get an easy layup. Once you get an easy layup, it makes you feel better, and your jump shot starts feeling more comfortable. Am I wrong about this, Coach?
No, you're absolutely correct. We were always inside out. We established our inside game first to get to our outside game, and that was to make you collapse. So even though we shot 3-pointers, I can't remember us ever shooting over 13 or 14 3-pointers. If we shot 20, I was not happy. But I'm saying 13 or 14. That was probably our max, because we knew who could shoot the 3-pointers on the team. We knew who couldn't shoot the 3-pointers on the team. Everybody can't shoot 3-pointers. And I know one game in particular, we were playing down at Norfolk Academy. We were playing Green Run. They were the best team in the Virginia Beach area, and Monty was a senior. Well, the night before, Monty dropped 45. He dropped 45 on Great Bridge, I think. So what Green Run coach did, he was one of the better coaches down there, a very good coach. He ran a 1-2-2 and collapsed on Monty. Well, we made 14 threes. They didn't know we shot the ball that well. We didn't have to shoot the ball from outside to make threes, and that's what I think that's been Boston's Achilles heel. They throw them up. They don't mind. They'll shoot them anywhere, and I think that's kind of hurt Phoenix. A couple of games they lost. They shot too many threes. They probably should have got the ball inside the 8. And the 3-pointer has really improved the game. Is put some other parts in it. But when you shoot 9 for 31, that's not good. That's not good.
If Philly, before we move on to the Miami Knicks game, let me ask you this real quick. If Philly does not wrap it up tonight, what happens in Boston? Do they win in Boston, or does Boston take it?
Well, I would say Philly's got the shot to win both the games because of having the MVP back. You know, he finally got the MVP award, and his outside game has really improved. And he gives them that shot blocking presence around the court. And I think Embiid makes a whole difference in their team. I still haven't figured out how they beat Boston the first game with him out. Of course, Harden scored 47. So that's how they beat him. But I really haven't figured out how they got that done.
Yeah,
I hear you.
But, Coach, thinking about that, and maybe with Game 5 as well with Philly, that's a game everybody, I think, because it's an away game, or those were away games, that people think, okay, it's a home court advantage. But Philly, that's where somebody again, became that alpha dog, that take charge guy. And yeah, we were surprised that it was Harden in Game 1, but in Game 5, I didn't watch that. I didn't get a chance to see that game, but I think I was more surprised by that because that was a game that I had kind of conceded to Boston. Now, having said that, my worry with Philly is that they know they have the advantage tonight, but Philly being Philly, they could also go out there and lay an egg.
Absolutely, yeah, you're absolutely right about that. Philly's capable of doing that. If they don't bring because if Maxey starts jacking up threes, and I think he makes a lot of difference in his quickness. I love him as a guard. I watched him when he was at Alabama, I think. But he's absolutely a fantastic point guard. And if he's scoring and Harden's scoring, if Maxey, if one of them's not scoring, they could probably they could lay that egg. They could absolutely.
Well, going over to the other side of the East, you have the Miami Heat and you have the New York Knicks. Miami's up 3-2, going back home. Do they wrap it up?
Jimmy Butler on that ankle is going to wrap it up tonight. Matter of fact, when Jimmy Butler was in Philadelphia and Monty was assistant coach there with Doc, I text him or call him, whatever. I said, Jimmy Butler is the guy. JB is the guy. I love Jimmy Butler's game. He's a 6'7", prototype forward. He just brings that toughness that I just love, and I have not been surprised at what he's done down in Miami. And if Lowry's on tonight and Butler's on, Miami could send New York. I know Stephen A. wants New York to get back to New York, but Miami don't want to go back to New York.
Hey, Coach, I'm going to ask you this. You could have Jimmy Butler playing for you all day long, couldn't you?
Absolutely. He's my type of guy. Anytime I call an NBA coach and say, look, Jimmy Butler when he was in Philly, he was a man. When they traded him, I said, oh no, you're losing some heart. And I did a little research on him. I watched him in Marquette when he played in Marquette, but I went a little bit further back into his background to find out where he's from. He's from Houston, so he's an athlete. He's from the tougher neighborhood of Houston, and the mom, put him out. They know his damn mom put him out, but he is by far, to me, he's got heart. That's heart.
Well,
I got you in the picture now. I want to tell you. I'm on.
Now we say the best one for last. You have a team called the LA Lakers going against a team called the Golden State Warriors. Golden State is down 3-2. They're going to LA. Can Golden State get it back to San Francisco, or is this the end?
That was a tough call. If AD wasn't having the headaches and 100%, I would say no. I would say that LeBron, AD, because they finally figured it out. They give him the ball to AD, and he's doing his thing. And I haven't heard that he's out tonight. But you know, he's I don't think put him in the concussion protocol or not. But
let me help you with this, Coach. They just cleared him. They say he's feeling fine. He's feeling good, and he will be playing.
It's done. I'd say it's done. I think LBJ is going to direct that stuff, and I've been so impressed with Russell. You know, I watched Russell when he was at Ohio State. You know, I really loved him as a point guard in college. I thought he played well. Then he went to LA and didn't really go that well. He went to Minnesota. He picked it up a little bit. Now he's back at LA, and he looks like himself now.
Yeah. Hey, Coach, I have to ask you about AD. And of course, when he went out, you know, Twitter kind of exploded. Here we go again. You know, what was it? That nickname, Day-to-Day Davis, which I still think is hilarious. But what are you seeing with him, and especially with him being cleared now? Do you see a guy now that is learning to push through injuries? You know, really like say, okay, let's you know, I have all summer to heal, but we only have one chance to win another championship. Is that the kind of player you're seeing now?
Right. Well, I talked to a former head coach, I was assistant coach at Bowie State back in the early 70s. And we talked, and he said, you know, Coach, he said, you know, big guys get hurt a lot. Big guys get hurt. And I watched AD, you know, one game I think I was yelling at him, and I'm an AD fan from when he played for Monty, but I'm not a big AD fan. But when he was laying on the floor, I was yelling to him to get up. You know, you can't be laying there when somebody knock you down. Get up off the, I'm yelling at the TV, AD, get up off the floor. And I think somebody went and helped him up, and he got up and finished the game and played well. But I think with him being cleared, that he really stepped his game up for the playoffs. I don't think he and LeBron were saving themselves. It's just, you know, when you get to the point and you get injured, you know, you guys are both play sports, and you know when you get them injuries, sometimes they're hard to come back from. I had a high growing pool in college at one time playing baseball. I couldn't do anything. And I know what Booker was going through with that high growing pool. It's tough.
Yeah, the thing with AD that I've always believed his biggest problem, and I think it's the same thing with Zion Williamson, is that, you know, one part of your body grows and then the rest of your structure doesn't grow at the same time. And like, you know, with Anthony Davis, you know, he had that growth spurt, but I don't think his bones and his muscles kind of developed at that same time, you know. And I think that's that's what's kind of limiting, or has limited him in terms of injuries. A guy like Zion Williamson, you know, much like Shaq, was, you know, just a huge guy. He can, you know, he's as quick as they come, you know, for that size, but there's something about that body. It has to mature physically so everything can kind of fall in line.
Exactly. And that's what I think a lot of people don't understand about the 7-footers. They're made different, you know, they're made different. And you know, and a lot of them they're not made like the Joker. The Joker is 7 foot and 295. Some of these guys are 7 foot and 265, maybe, you know, 250, and they hit a growth spurt, and all of a sudden, like you say, everything didn't come together the way it should, and that's where they had a problem. And some people don't understand. Me being a basketball coach and having had big guys before, I understand with the big guys, but my big guys, they never got hurt for some reason. They wanted to be on the floor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. They want to be on the floor because they know sitting on the bench next to you being hurt that's a whole nother story, Coach. They have to stay on that court.
I'll put somebody else in, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, Coach, this has been fun talking with you again. We really appreciate your insight as always, and you've given us something to think about with these playoff games for tonight and tomorrow night. You got to come back and see us, okay?
Okay, sounds good. Appreciate you guys having me on.
All right.
Hey, Coach, I'll be texting you a call. I'll be texting you a call on you tomorrow after this Phoenix game.
Well, I'll probably post something on there late tonight.
I look forward to it.
I do. Okay, John. Thank you very much. You guys have a nice day.
Hey, thanks for everybody. Thank you, Coach Hickman. Y'all take care. See you real soon.